Hello, welcome to Biscuit Barber Movies. Today I'm going to explain a South Korean sports comedy film called Champion. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The story revolves around a previous Korean arm wrestler named Mark. He is now working as a bouncer in a club in America. One night at work he met his old partner Kim, who urged him to compete in an arm wrestling match. Mark isn't interested, however. Kim doesn't surrender and in the end convinces him. They go to the opposite side of the club, where individuals are enjoying betting on matches. The person who is contending has won for the whole evening, making Mark the long shot. Despite the fact that all the folks are plainly going to be more drained, nobody needs to bet on somebody like him, which ends up being a benefit for Kim. The match starts and the Kim demonstrates why he used to be a proficient arm wrestler. The opponent breaks a ton of sweat yet can't move Mark's hand by an inch. Without making too much strain, Mark dominates the match, which makes Kim a lot of money. But the guy who is opposite will not accept the defeat and start a fight. Due to this fight, Kim is removed from the bar. 7 days after, he lands on one more position as a safety officer in a supermarket. He earns enough money to pay the rent and his daily needs in his life. Some of the time he misses his home. After that, one day he gets a call from Kim, requesting that he come to Korea. There is an arm wrestling competition beginning in Seoul. The champion will get to contend worldwide. Mark watches his old medals for quite a while, prior to choosing to face the greatest challenge in his life. After arriving in Seoul, Kim comes to get him. They go to a restaurant and discuss business over a feast. Kim needs to be a Mark's manager and deal with the business side of his profession. He hopes everything will turn out great for Mark. Yet, he wants to go into the wrestling industry to get more money. For this, he should take advantage of Kim's skills. The end of the day, the duo takes a visit through Seoul. At one of the objectives, a few young kids come to Mark at vacation spots and take pictures with him. Subsequent to living in America for so many years, Mark's Korean tongue is shaky, which drives him to numerous abnormal discussions. Around evening time they go to a club, however Mark remains in the corner the whole time, subconsciously filling in as a bouncer position. When going back to the hotel, Kim asks if he has at any point needed to find out where his organic mother is. It just so happens, Mark has given for adoption when he was a child. He says that he does not care anymore and says it is all in the past. Kim then drops him at the spot he is remaining for the night, which is a love hotel. Mark encounters a vibrating water bed interestingly, yet what truly grabs his eye is a gift box. It is from Kim and has a telephone inside. On checking, he tracks down the location of his organic mother on it. Elsewhere, Kim approaches a moneylender named Yu and requests to support Mark. At first they hanged Kim upside down for conversing without permission, yet after taking a look at a video of Kim, then agrees to support Kim. His main condition is that the Kim should win and lose as ordered. The following morning, Mark follows the map on his telephone. Also, comes to a location. Before knocking on the door, 2 children approach him, and feels like he is a monster. Not to frighten them, he left the place. The kids tell their mom Sumi about the odd person remaining before their home. The family keeps an eye on Mark through the window, and watches him leave. Sumi possesses a second-hand shop that is struggling. She owes a huge amount of cash to the gangster Yu, who inconveniences all her possibilities he gets. That day at work she sees Mark and Yu strolling into a club in the shopping center. Kim has brought Mark to introduce him with the supporters and features abilities. There, we are likewise acquainted with a rich ruined youth named Chang. He is an accomplice and the person who spends the most cash on wrestlers. Mark demonstrates his value by overcoming a cumbersome man from the naval force. Due to when he and Kim were given an extravagance room in a 5-star hotel. Kim gets a text from Yu that says Mark has to win the first game tomorrow, however lose the subsequent one. They go out for dinner and Kim raises the subject of losing the subsequent match. Incredibly, Mark agrees to make it happen, easily. The next morning we see Sumi preparing her children for school. The oldest Joo Hyung is stressed that the large man will come to the house in the future. Sumi suspects that Kim is somebody she knows. After the children leave for school, she brings out old pictures and finds one with a little Kim and his mom. Outside, the children find him again. The younger Jun-hee gets excited by seeing Kim. In any case, Joo Hyung takes steps to call the police, assuming that he sees Mark once more. In the following scene, we're acquainted with Korea's main arm wrestling champion named Combo. You welcome him to the club that night to assess Mark's expertise. He would rather not bet cash foolishly until an expert gives him the go-ahead. That imprint is really dependable. At night, everybody accumulating at the club, Mark conflicts with a 7-foot Goliath in the primary match. He wins with incredible exertion, dazzling even Korea's own personal boss. Sumi is additionally in the crowd watching Mark. Throughout the break, you go at her and touches improperly, pronouncing that he possesses her in light of the cash she owes him. Mark sees this occur and is disturbed about it. At the point when the subsequent match begins, he purposely wins, to demonstrate hatred for you. When you attempt to state his possession, he is shoved aside. Kim freaks out, attempting to satisfy the chief and imprint simultaneously. He understands that Sumi is the explanation Mark sold out by him. Angrily, he goes to her to ask about her relationship with Mark. Simultaneously, Yu shows up and begins attacking Kim. Mark intercedes, making a battle start between Yu's kin and him alone. During the battle, Sumi requests that Yu stop his men, just to be pushed to the ground. The fights end when the police capture Mark and Kim. They need Mark's proof for him to be let him free. Yet, he has lost his pack and visa in the past battle. The cops and Kim had a conflict with one another in a match, and he demonstrates that he is really an arm wrestler. Still, the man won't let him go, without legitimate distinguishing proof. Right then, at that point, Sumi comes to the police headquarters with her children. She has tracked down his visa and has an image of him and his mom which demonstrates his personality. It is then uncovered that Sumi is Mark's stepsister and their mom passed on a year ago. Mark is shattered to hear the news and doesn't have the foggiest idea how to handle it. The family welcomes Mark and Kim to remain in their home for a couple of days. The children love him due to his one-of-a-kind character. Little Joo-hee jumps at the chance to cuddle with Mark while Joo Hyung begins conversing with him more regularly. Outside the house, a lot of youngsters are smoking and declining to go in any event when Sumi asks them to. However, when Kim comes into their view, they apologize and run away in a moment. The following day, Yu's kin come to gather cash from Sumi and compromise her. Simultaneously, Mark is going to leave with his effects, not having any desire to be a weight to the family. He sends the predatory lenders away. However, the hooligans cause him to understand that he ought to remain with his family to safeguard them. For the following couple of days, they have loads of fun together. They go to buffets, eat together, play all in all, and live like a cheerful family. As of not long ago, it was challenging for Sumi to deal with a business and 2 children all alone. Her home is loaded up with sloppy garments from her business. At some point, she gets back to see that it has all been cleaned. Mark additionally deals with the kids so she can focus on work. In the meantime, Kim is in a difficult situation in light of a deficiency of cash. After seeing imprint with the children, he gets a thought and calls a companion and a telecom organization. He needs to record Mark's life to acquire individuals' compassion. Close by some cash. At any rate, Imprint's incredulous yet consents to do it. In the accompanying scene, we see Mark and the family going on an excursion. They go over Korea's wrestling champion Combo contending with challenges for a foundation occasion. The show turns into a moment achievement and makes them a good measure of cash. The kids fire admiring their uncle much more. One day while heading to the school, they hear a lady castigating Mark. In reprisal, Joo-hee proclaims that her uncle is a boss and makes him guarantee that he will come out on top for the public title for her. In the accompanying scene, we're acquainted with Kim's dad, who is old yet strives to earn enough to pay the bills. The main motivation behind why Kim is inflexible about getting more cash is that he needs to give his dad the best life, one where he doesn't need to work any longer. On getting back that day, Jun Hyung calls Imprint and shows him the messages that his mom used to compose consistently. Mark figures out that his mom's greatest lament in life was surrendering him for reception. All through her life she composed a few messages to a location that wasn't his. In the messages she depicted how hard life was, the point at which he was with her. She was unable to bear to take care of him and believed that him should have a superior life. Indeed, even on her deathbed all she wished was to meet him and say sorry. Mark likewise figures out that Sumi isn't his stepsister. His mom took her, and when she was a youngster, after her folks died. The news shocks Mark, making him enraged at Sumi for never coming clean with him. In the accompanying scene the family drives to Mark's mother's grave. While on the snare he calls Sumi out for her untruths. Mark has chosen to get back to America, abandoning them for good. Kim attempts to stop him since he hasn't partaken in the competition yet and it is in 7 days. Notwithstanding, disappointed Mark blames him for involving his companion for cash and leaves. In the accompanying montage, we see Korea's hero combo rehearsing for the title. The criminal Yu has likewise recruited a monster named Kane. He is to be a merciless arm grappler well known for breaking each and every arm he played against. A couple of years prior he was captured for utilizing pills to overperform in games. He additionally rehearses his best prepared to get ready to rock and roll. Then, at that point, the day of the competition at last shows up. The children are home alone when they saw that they neglected to return the award to the Imprint utilizing. This excuse they line Chief. Sumi gets a call from her companion at the field and needs to hurry to get her youngsters. The opposition begins and Kane, Imprint and Combo are placed in 3 distinct gatherings. They overwhelm the matches of their separate gatherings and come to the elimination rounds. A heartless Kane harms large numbers of his rivals. What's more, goes to the last. The mogul financial backer Chang and his kin have wagered all their cash on Kane. After perceiving how great Marcus performing, they're frightened to lose all the cash. Thus Chang orders Yu to give his very best for guarantee their player wins. Yu thusly offers Kim $200,000 for him to persuade Mark to lose in the semi-finals against Combo, can acknowledge the cash and goes to tell his companion. Be that as it may, Mark won't get it done. The cash will take care of every one of their obligations and satisfy their life wishes. Yet at the same time it does not merit the commitment Mark made to Junhee. Consequently he wrestles Combo in an extraordinary game and dominates eventually. Throughout the break between matches Yu gets his Kim. Also, continues to beat him. Be that as it may, hooligans are come by Mark. He pushes the criminal to the floor and saves his companion. Kim disregards the cash and requests that he succeed at any expense. The last match starts and everybody pauses their breathing to watch it. Kane plays foul and intentionally makes their hands slip. He likewise pulls on Mark's thumb extremely hard, making him more slow with each interruption. The ball appears to fall in Kane's court. In any case, all of a sudden, from the side of his eyes Mark sees the youngsters pulling for him. With re-established interest to demonstrate his value to the Imprint, pushes Kane's hand on the double and rout him. In the last scene Mark lets his mom know that he adores her on TV. He can't resist the urge to cry at the thought of her enduring to such an extent. The film closes as everybody commends the success.